Ain't that a bitch when you hit the wrong video and then you magically correct it? And I could have acted like nothing went wrong. It was all intentional. But welcome to Loud and Nerdy on a Tuesday night, 9 p.m. new time, new bad channel. We're kind of changing things up as we finish up 2023. My name is JW Colwell. And if you could read the entire thing at the bottom of my name, it would say Watch Murder at the End of the World on Hulu. I can't recommend it enough. It's really fun. I am joined early tonight. We will get somebody later, but I'm joined early tonight by Defina, not the movie guy or the TikTok star. Yes, you're the one magically in between. You're like the mama bear, I guess, right? I'm too.
I thought it was the Oreo filling.
The Oreo filling, or are you? Well, yeah, I mean, because you can't do peanut butter, right? You can't do a Reese's cup. The Oreo filling, or what are you doing?
I'm trying to share it to the masses here, to let them we're on, because
stupid masses. No, so yeah, I mean, welcome on a Tuesday night. How are you doing tonight? Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Joe. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Good evening, Ken McKernan. Good evening, friends. Thank you, Ken. I knew you guys would be more drunk at 9. No, that wasn't the case. I had 2 videos in the same section, and I forgot to erase one of them. Is all it is. Ha, Mama Cow. Yeah, a little bit, Mama Cow. Thank you for joining us tonight on a Tuesday as we get ready for Thanksgiving. Do you have any superlative Thanksgiving traditions you do? I mean, you're an empty nester for the first time, right? So
yeah.
Are you what are you doing? Are you cooking and making them all come to you, or what? Like, I mean, one of them can't come to you, obviously, but like, is the other one coming to you, or are you going to her, or what's happening?
I'm told no one's coming, and might just be a Ruth Chris Thanksgiving. I don't know. A couple of years ago, when Kaylee couldn't come home for college, and when Hunter was in boot camp and couldn't come home, we did Ruth Chris, and we actually had some guy you might know named Paul Spratt join us for Thanksgiving there.
Yeah, I saw that. That looked like a great meal. I bet you it was a lot of fun. Ruth Chris, by the way, has the absolute best. That sweet potato casserole thing is it's the best way to use the sweet potato in the history of the world. Like, I don't know. I know other people who use sweet potatoes, but I feel that is the very best way to eat a sweet potato casserole. We were actually thinking about ordering that. This is a weird, well, it's a good year. My cousin is coming home. So she's coming home from the hospital after 3 years almost 3 years in the hospital. Or in various hospitals, I should say. So it's a big thing. She's coming home. We have family. Kelly's parents are coming from Pennsylvania, flying in. They were offered, and then they said yes, which was weird. That's the best way I can describe it. And then it's just one of those things where we're working along and trying to make everything work and trying to figure out the loopholes, right? Trying to see what we can do to basically get things to work. It should be an interesting week, because I think we're doing Disney one day, and then we're doing a couple other things where we're kind of jumping around, and hopefully it all kind of comes to pass and it creates like a new tradition. Like, the boys are only 7 and 5, so it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's only a matter, like, it's like they're just getting used to it. So they know it's Turkey Day. I thought I will say the school had one of the coolest things going this year when they did like a project that we had to work on all weekend. Where basically they had to create a disguise for their turkey to escape. And I thought that was really creative. I thought it was fun. Hello, brothers. Hello, Sean. How are you tonight? Thank you for joining us. We're expecting Jerry. Jerry's got some law to smack down, I guess. We'll see if he wants to talk to it or not. But you and I have been talking all week, and we're talking about different things we want to do in the show. Hello, Jamie Hill. How are you tonight? Thank you for joining us. Always good to have you.
I wonder if when Jerry gets animated and like starts talking with a passion, if he starts making the same faces like when he plays guitar.
Maybe. You know what?
I think we got to ask him.
Maybe we'll ask him. I guess you know we can check it out and try to figure it out and see what's going on. But it's you know I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna want to talk about it. But you and I were talking about different things, right? So one of the things that's come up in the last 2 days, we talked about a little bit of Generation Movie tonight. I want to continue it because it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse for the Zaz. Zaslav, this guy is a goddamn menace. He's running one of the preeminent film distributors in the history of cinema, and he's just a clown car. He is just a guy looking for, as Rich Dries pointed out last night, widgets that he can just sell. And usually the widgets that he champions are house flipping shows or naked people on a beach fighting over, a bottle of rum, or any of the number of stupid food shows that he picks that aren't as good as the other food shows that are like better food shows. He always picks the junky ones. I just hate this man so much, but it's kind of blown up in his face. So this one of the stories, there's a movie called Coyote versus Acme. Okay. The concept for this movie sounds amazing. It's live action, hybrid film. It's got John Cena in it, so not a small star. It only cost $70 million, and when I say only $70 million now, we know that that's a large amount of money for us. But for Hollywood studios, making properties and making movies, that's like a drop in the bucket. Right? That's a third of what it costs to make the Marvels, a third of what it costs to make any of the movies you're going to see over the next few days, the holidays, the major holiday releases. So 70 million is nothing. And the concept is basically Coyote goes after the Acme Corporation. You know, the corporation that he buys all the junk from that never works, Roadrunner traps and all kinds of stuff he does. And it just sounds like a great concept. The idea that, you know, he gets sick of the garbage he's delivered from this evil corporation, and he goes after them. It's been right there all along for us, Kyle. Right?
Growing up in southern Jersey, southern Pennsylvania, there was always a food chain named Acme. Do you think they ever got backlash with people not wanting to shop there after seeing how bad Acme products were in the Roadrunner cartoons?
No, I don't think it at all. But I think
no. Okay.
No, I don't think. I think as kids we were confused. Like I'm sure I was smart enough to have a conversation like, let's not shop there, right? And by the way, the correct pronunciation in NEPA is Acme, not Acme. It's just Acme. The correct communication is Acme. Oh boy. Okay, so let's get him involved. Hold on. You done yelling?
Yes, I'm done yelling.
I'm not.
Missed it.
That's okay. We were okay. So I'm gonna do this for you because you missed the top of the show, but I want. You got a colon, my friend. You got a colon.
I had 2 colons.
You have 2 colons. Oh, well, 3 really. But hey,
Ian got ripped a new colon tonight.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. If he's in trouble, I don't want. I love your kids. I love your wife. I love you. I love everything. Like a bad night in North Pocono is a bad night in North Pocono anywhere. And so I'm thinking of Ian and Jesus. Okay. Anyway, so we're talking about this movie called Coyote versus Acme. Kyle made a very interesting point. Do you think when we were shopping as kids, did we ever look at the Acme products and tell our grandparents or parents, why are we buying there? That shit never works. And I think that's a very valid point.
Right.
But there's this movie
Well, there's a
called
whole grocery store named Acme in the Philadelphia.
And I told Kyle,
New
it's
Jersey.
not Acme, right, Jerry? What is it? It's the Acme.
Acme. Yeah.
It's the Acme. I'm down at the Acme or up the Einen.
Acme.
Up the Einen.
Up the Einen. Yeah, that's a big one.
Down the valley.
Going to the creek.
Jesus.
Everybody used to say down the line all the time.
Down the line. But there's this movie called Coyote versus Acme. Listen to the concept, Jerry, and tell me this isn't gold. Okay? The concept is Wile E. Coyote, super genius, right? Goes up and goes after the Acme Corporation for years of selling him faulty products. And it's a live action hybrid with him and John Cena. Is that not something that's been sitting there waiting to happen with how litigious we've become as a society?
Yeah, because
is it not sitting
every time for faulty products? So
that's what I'm saying. Like he never won, and everything. Like even when it was like Roadrunner Birdseed, that Roadrunner, he never caught that fucker. And the thing is, like I was talking to Kyle beforehand, he's like, "Well, did you cheer for Wile E. Coyote? Weren't you excited when the Roadrunner got away?" I'm like, "Not really. Aren't we Wile E. Coyote? Aren't we constantly buying products and things that don't work? Aren't we always trying to chase the elusive Roadrunner? And just the concept of the Roadrunner is something you can't catch. Isn't that what we are? We're more Wile E. Coyote than we are the Roadrunner. Roadrunner is an exceptional thing that has exceptional speed, unattainable, right? We're not the Roadrunner. We're Wile E. The world is Wile E. Coyote. And how many times when he held up the sign, where you're just like, "Oh, that poor Coyote." And the stupid, Roadrunner doesn't even talk. He's like, me, like, screw him. Screw the Roadrunner.
Yikes.
Off with the money.
I was talking to Kyle. So here's the story, Jerry. The story is the Zaslav, the guy that's running Warner Brothers, one of the preeminent film studios in the history of cinema, has decided this $70 million movie with high concept, which is a live-action hybrid, which almost all of the live-action hybrids, like where they're animated and live action, do well. Even like the bad Warner Brothers ones they did a couple years ago, Back in Action, and they still do okay at the box office. He decided this $70 million movie belongs on a shelf where Warner Brothers can get a tax write-up. I hate him so much because he's taking all these movies and he's basically, kind of like making them, and then he's like, I'm going to write it off as a tax write-off. And my answer to that is he should go fuck himself.
And then not release it.
And then not release them and get the tax write. Well, so the story came out a couple days ago. Now, here's the kicker. This movie had 5 or 6 test screenings. The test screening numbers, it's not like Batgirl where everybody's like, this movie isn't good. The test screening numbers for this movie were off the charts. They were exceptionally high, like beyond high, like highest boxes for every screening. Like it potential for it to be a hit, but not a super big hit, right? Because the Warner Brothers characters haven't been treated appropriately. Like when you and I grew up, we had the was it the Wild Bug? What was the name of the movie? 1001 Arabian Nights. Was it 1001 Arabian Nights with Bugs Bunny? We had that, like, they were animated cartoon movies.
Right, the shorts are Daffy Duck's Quackbusters or
yes, but they haven't treated them very well. So they had, like, the idea that it might not have grossed a ton of money is beyond it. So anyway, the story kind of took a weird turn where yesterday they decided when they started getting a lot of heat because they can't hide behind the fact that the movie tested poorly. They started shopping the movie to Amazon and Apple and Netflix and all these different places with the idea that maybe they'll sell it. Okay. Well, I sent an email. I sent a message to you guys. It's gotten weirder. The story has taken a turn. Representative Joaquin Castro, who is a representative of a congressman from, I believe he's from California. Basically, where he is basically, once he heard about the tax break, and it's like the third time he's done it, right? This is the third time this year that they've shelved something. They shelved Batgirl and Scoob, Holiday Haunt, and this Coyote versus Acme movie. He is setting forth an idea that maybe the Justice Department and the FTC should revise their antitrust guidelines and review this conduct because the Warner Brothers discovery tactic of scrapping fully made films for tax breaks is predatory and anti-competitive. Oh, I'm sorry, he's from Texas. As someone remarked, it's like burning down a building for the insurance money. So I'm excited because the Zaz. I'm excited because the Zaz is in trouble, and I don't like it. But I want this. I want to see this movie because this movie sounds fun, and we need fun movies right now. The world is not great, and if we had like a Wile E. Coyote movie that brings everybody together and makes us laugh about a coyote that can't get shit right for the last 60 years, I'm all for it. We were also talking, Jerry, about Thanksgiving tradition. Any Thanksgiving traditions you have? Is there something like does your family come over? Do you travel on Thanksgiving? Or
no,
what
we used to travel. You know, we used to travel, but I told her like we got to have it here. You know, I'm getting tired of traveling. We'd have to drive to New Jersey all the time. Well, your family can come here for a change.
Did she say we got to
having it here, and everybody's kind of cool with it. My house is conducive to have that. You know, the amount of people.
There's enough space for everybody to find their own little corners.
My dining room area is nice and wide open. My kitchen.
And is it conducive to the idea that you have a big enough space where the people that want to kill each other can go to neutral corners?
Correct. Well, you know, here's the thing. So, you know, when we were going to her mom's house in Jersey, and it's no knock on her mom and dad. I love them to death. I love them dearly. But they don't have the space for everybody for Thanksgiving. So her mom, when I started going there, it was what? Anybody who's age 40 or younger sits downstairs at the kids' table. So every year I set the standard because I'm the oldest. So this year, if we were to go there, anybody who's 49 or younger goes downstairs. You know, all the aunts and uncles get to sit at the big boy table.
Son of a bitch!
I still have to sit with the kids, which all the kids are growing up anyway. But I'm
I'm not seeing a problem with this.
I'm like right in the middle.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I'd rather be with the kids.
I'd rather be.
I don't want to hear the religious.
I don't know that I want to be at a table these years with.
She screwed it up the one year, and she said, "Anybody who's 45 or younger," and I was 46, and I started cheering. I'm like, "Yes, I make it to the big people table this year." No, wait! It's anybody 46. She had to change it real quick. Like you can't be changing the rules now.
Jamie Hill said, "I'm fine, thank you. Good to know, Jane." Oh yeah, and I love Acme City. Oh, excellent. Who Killed Roger Rabbit? Yes.
That's a good one.
That's a great movie. The Roadrunner was a bully and a dickhead. Yeah. I said it. I'm more who's not if you look at it conducively, we're all Wile E. Coyote. We're all running after whatever the elusive Roadrunner is in your life. I always sit with the kids. The adults suck at gatherings. Good point. I mean, also the kids.
Interesting conversation.
The kids always steal the Ready Whip. I like Ready Whip. It's one of the few sweet things I really like. I love Ready Whip. Like people.
Yeah, sugar free now.
Well, yeah, sugar. It's got to be sugar free. I don't drink anything that's not sugar free but the Ready Whip. Yeah.
They end up playing that game, but they put it on their hand and then hit their hand.
Yes, that's amazing. But also they steal the Ready Whip. And I'll take a tug. You know, just just you got to be careful in COVID era, right? You can't put your mouth on it anymore. But I'll take a quick talk. My wife will yell at me, and then I'll give it to the kids like it was their fault.
Here,
So
hold this.
here, take this.
And then he holds it at just the right angle so only the huff it comes out and he gets a little buzz.
Little buzz, just a little. Take the edge off. I told Kyle we're having everybody here. We have like 17 people come. So my mother-in-law, my father-in-law are coming.
Nice.
My cousin is coming home. Knock on wood. I'm glad she's coming home. We're gonna have the little boys. We're gonna have her husband, my aunt, me, Kelly, other family, and then people like stragglers. We have stragglers that are in our lives that are kind of coming in and out. We don't know. Some people might come, some people might not, but they're all invited. Do you guys have, as we have all of next week to talk about this, and you can think about more. We watched Pieces of April for Generation Movie this week. Have you guys seen that movie, or do you have a Thanksgiving movie that is a go-to movie that you love?
I haven't recently. I mean, I've been watching football for Thanksgiving. That's kind of like the.
Yeah, you and I can't talk this week, actually, Jerry. You and I can't talk, Jerry, because your very good football team is going up against my very mediocre. My mediocre,
You're good against mediocres and not good against good teams. So.
Go Giants!
Yeah, Giants, yay!
Yeah, how'd that feel? Anyway,
feels normal.
Torn ACL.
Oh, this is brutal. Anyway, so
actually, I think that's going to be a good question in the group this week. Is it's not even have a poll, but it's just going to be what are your Thanksgiving traditions? And I just want everyone to reply with what they do, whether it's they watch football. When the kids were home, we used to load up on all the new releases on videos and just make a big meat tray, cheese tray, and just sit there and watch.
The night before, if we can get my aunt to do it, my aunt makes a hella good white pizza that is mildly addictive. And we try to talk her to make it before every holiday. I'm pushing it. Like, we found these really great. Publix is a bakery / it's one of the great stores in the Florida area. It's just amazing. Their sandwiches, everything.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Trains and Automobiles. Every night before Thanksgiving, I watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because it's a funny movie and I laugh my balls off, but also because it's got a really great heart to it. And thank you for mentioning that, Jerry, because if you're inclined, next week on Generation Movie on Monday night at 10 on the Indie Escape Network, we are indeed doing Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It's like a premonition.
He had the graphic ready and everything.
Yeah.
Know what? How much did you pay Jerry for that segue? How much did you pay him for that segue?
Those aren't pillows.
Those aren't pillows. There are other, the sequence with Edie McClurg is easily the greatest cursing sequence in the history. It could be the greatest I'm thinking of great cursing sequences in film. That is one of them. Sometimes it's just one line, like Palmer in The Thing when it comes out and it's the head and it's like a spider and he's like, "Oh, you got to be fucking kidding me."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a great, we get very desensitized using the word
I know
fuck.
you
When
gentlemen have been through a lot. that line's pretty good too.
When it's well, Kurt Russell at the end when he throws the dynamite, he's like, fuck you too. Just because it's kind of hissing at him or whatever. I don't know what he's replying to. Like, he thinks that's what he's saying. Fuck you. I don't know. Anyway, but if fuck is used right, it's really good. But I think that's a great idea. But one of my traditions, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles the night before. We watch Pieces of April. Pieces of April is really a sweet kind of. It's an hour and 19 minutes. It's a trifle. It's like an Emma's Bouche of Thanksgiving movies. And then we're finishing up with the week after. We're finishing up with Alice's Restaurant, which is counterculture. Arlo Guthrie, 69, made 1969, same year as Midnight Cowboy and True Grit. So we're going old school. But other stories. So we just got done with the SAG after strike, right?
Oh, hold on. I think we gotta get Sean's comment on before we move on here.
Oh, okay. What do you got? Oh, I
Just
do.
finish
Okay,
up
sure.
the Thanksgiving tradition.
I do a Thanksgiving tradition where everyone says a serious thing they're thankful for,
That's right.
and then something ridiculous. That's a good one. That's a great
My
one.
wife used to make us all do a serious one. She would never let us do the ridiculous one, though.
I think you need to do serious and ridiculous. No more gatherings. No more group gatherings. I'm done. I'm with you, Raven. I understand why or what. No more group gatherings. I know it's been a tumultuous weekend. I hope you're okay, honey. So another thing we do on the show that we're going to continue doing, and Kyle has agreed to do it tonight. That means, Jerry, this is your job for next week, the night before Thanksgiving. You have to pick a movie motivation monologue. That's for you next
It's on a
week.
Thursday, but good try. Thanksgiving Eve, we're on. The night before Thanksgiving
Or
Eve.
Thanksgiving Eve. It's Thanksgiving Eve.
Yes.
Eve.
Yeah, we're not on the night before
Will
Thanksgiving.
you shut up, Kyle?
Tuesday.
Why do you got to ruin things? I was moving so well.
I don't want to confuse people. First, you're moving us to 9, so they got to wait an extra hour.
Eve
And all of a sudden, you
minus
say we're
1.
on Thanksgiving Eve. So I mean,
Okay, fine, Kyle. Keep it in charge. We got.
So I will do that.
I'm staying up through the show and going to crash after. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So we still have some brand stuff. So here we go. Ready? Of course, is a wonderful thing that we used to do on the show way back when, and we're trying to bring the roots back. We're going to try to have other people on and do it, not just the three of us. But it's a good way for us to start. It also gives me a little bit of time to kind of call in favors and get people to show up, which isn't as easy as you would think at 9:00 on a Tuesday. Nothing to fucking do. But movie motivation is kind of like a monologue. Nobody's going to do any guessing. I'm getting rid of the stump version of it. You don't need to stump Jerry or me or Kyle. It was fun for a while, but maybe it led to tension, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm trying to go holistic with loud and nerdy. If you can understand. So with that in mind, also I'm doing no shave Movember. Like this is terrible.
I just shaved today.
Jerry is
This is awful.
This is a couple, 3 days.
This is 2 weeks, and it's just I feel like when they say neckbeards watching wrestling or neckbeards watching anything, I feel I've become a neckbeard and I just can't handle it.
Yeah, watch out for zippers. Watch out for zippers and buttons with that.
I don't have that problem. Head. Jerry, I live in Florida. I don't wear anything with zippers or buttons.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
I have no need for zippers or buttons. And we're not coming to Pennsylvania anytime soon.
Up here.
So yeah, if I have to come up there, I have to zip up. Yeah, you guys saw me. You saw me Viking weekend. I was like, I had layers. On my already blubberous visage. I just. But anyway, we do movie motivation as a way to celebrate movies or television shows or things that get us by in our life, that make us happy and can inspire others to also be happy. So without further ado, well, I'll comment first and then Kyle's going to do it. I thought it was never mind. I'll keep it clean. Laugh out loud. When JW hits puberty, the beard will come right in. Look, I appreciate the fact that I'm a baby face.
Puberty. That's awesome.
Paprika.
I'm gonna be a big boy soon.
I'm gonna be a real boy.
This is the adult table.
I never had a grow a beard. I was shaving already.
I like being a baby face, so I'm trying to celebrate men's issues and mental health and all that good men stuff, like, check your balls and all kinds of important things. But movie motivation, Kyle, what do you got for us?
You just gave me the worst build up for this one then. So here we go.
That's me. I'm going to do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, action. Remember, just like we used to do. 3, 2, one, action.
Every morning when I wake up, I know it's not going to get any better until I go back to sleep again. So I get up, have my watered down Tang and still frozen Pop-Tart, get in my car with no upholstery, no gas, and 6 more payments to fight traffic just for the privilege of putting cheap shoes on cloven hooves of people like you. I'll never play football like I thought I would. I'll never know the touch of a beautiful woman, and I'll never again know the joy of driving without a bag on my head. But I'm not the loser, because despite it all, me and every other guy who will never be what he wanted to be are still out there being what we don't want to be 40 hours a week for life. And the fact that I haven't put a gun in my mouth, you put in hoven of a woman, makes me a winner. Did everybody leave? Nope.
I gave you the full screen. What do you mean? Did everybody leave?
Oh man, you don't want to give me the full screen. I don't know. I looked down and I got 2 monitors going here. But that.
Okay, so what is it from, Kyle, and why is it important?
It's from Married with Children. It's Al Bundy, and it's probably the show that put Fox Network on the map. I mean, yes, they have The Simpsons still, but I mean, Married with Children was just everything when that network launched.
I was thinking Al Bundy right from the get-go, and it's perfect. I work 40 hours a week to be the man I don't want to be. I think that's a celebration. That's a celebration of manhood. Raven, thank you kindly. He looks cute with scruff. I don't know. I don't. Although I did get a haircut this week, so it does look a little bit better. Kyle got it.
Yeah, no, you gotta take the hat off.
I want to take the hat off.
No, you gotta take the hat off. The haircut looks good. Here we go. Look at that.
See, you have to. You have hair. You have to flaunt it. If I had it, if I could have it for one more day. Look at this.
You look like a chubby version of Einstein. I appreciate you.
And I'm walking around all winter like this with my 1970s JW Scotch hat.
You look like you got rejected from South Park.
This hat's straight out of the 70s. I'm just saying. I still have it.
Well, I typed that and then he said balls. Yeah, that's true. I thought it was Married with Children. Thought it was only movies. No, it can come from television or movies. I feel like I love movies. I've always loved movies more. My dad worked in a movie theater. Everybody knows this. But TV has come so far, and there are things that we love that is television. There are things that we love that isn't movies. So I'm okay with TV or movies for movie motivation going forward. As a matter of fact, speaking of new shows,
especially with
go ahead.
Yeah, TV's doing some really interesting things because me and JW were talking earlier and scrolling through Facebook, and one of the shows I got really into last season was Ghosts on CBS. And because of the shortage or the strike that hopefully comes to an end now, if they ratify the contract, actors will be going back to work. But
strike is definitely over. Everything's back up and running.
So let's hope. But to fill time slots, CBS is going to start showing Ghosts, the UK version. And I just find it interesting because I actually binged the crap out of it on Paramount already. And when what was that show that we were watching?
Well, okay,
over the summer that had the different.
This is an interesting concept that's happened in the streaming era. It started with a show called The Traitors, which is a reality game show that Peacock premiered about a year ago in January. And basically, what happened was it was a Survivor-like game show that basically it just hit, and the new one's coming up in January, so we have something to look forward to. But then it just hit, and when it did hit, Peacock realized they had every version of it from every country, and so they brought every version, and then they found out that people who watched the American version ended up watching the UK version and the Australian version, and so they had one show concept triple the viewers and triple the streams and clicks than they would have had with one show. So what is happening now, Paramount Plus and CBS, they've been doing it with Yellowstone, right? Yellowstone premiered on, what is it, Hulu? Is it Hulu? Where did Yellowstone premiere? Peacock. I think it's Peacock. I don't know where I think it's Peacock. Yellowstone premiered somewhere, but now it's running Sunday nights on CBS because they had a product backlog. Because they didn't have any product because of the strike. They didn't have fall premieres. Like, we're going to get all premieres probably February, if I'm guessing. January, February, because nobody watches television in December. Like, December is an off limits month, although some shows, like, they're doing a Big Brother for Christmas that starts, they're doing a Big Brother bunch of episodes, like called Reindeer Games. That's kind of, so there's all kinds of reasons this is happening, but the Ghost UK thing is really interesting because there are 4 seasons of it in the UK and only 2 seasons in America. So they can fill the same slot with the same show that everybody's watching. And, as Kyle put it so beautifully earlier, what'd you say? It's like you can really tell the difference in the writing for the taste of American
for the audience.
For the UK.
I guess 70% of the ghosts are kind of the same, but there's like 30% that are like tweaked a little bit differently to be more specific for that audience.
That was the same. I saw some episodes of Australian pickers, like American pickers.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, how much you want for this,
Yeah, well, and it's like it started with the traders. Like, it was weird. When I was watching the traders, and Kyle and I were talking about this, and then all of a sudden the next day, 2 or 3 days after the traders premiered, there was UK traders, Australian traders, and I told him, and he goes, "How many fucking traders are there?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I'm down a rabbit hole." Like, it's like that TV commercial during the Super Bowl where it's like, "Find your next rabbit hole." If the studios are smart, they'll do it. And what's interesting about this is they're putting the UK show in the exact same time slot. So it's like, I wonder if people won't even realize. I hate to be derogatory towards Americans, but I'm wondering if Americans won't even realize it's a different show.
How come they're saying bloody all the time?
Well,
why are they saying bloody?
I don't see anything bloody.
Why are they saying
if this
government?
works, though, for CBS, I can see NBC turning around and, there's 13 different versions of The Office for different countries.
Yes, well, I could see NBC doing it, but NBC doesn't have as many holes to fill as CBS. Like, NBC has one night a week where they have football until February. You know what I mean? Like, they don't have as many holes. A couple comments. UK versions airing in America. Yes, it's very smart. It happened before that. JW, okay, but I thought that was the first time I really noticed it. Sci-Fi has been ripping off BBC for a year. Well, BBC is different. BBC is what happens is premieres in England and then it comes to us. That's a different animal. This is one of the first times where they're going to something that premiered on streaming and they're putting it front and center on the Tiffany network. You know what I mean? Like, it is a much weirder thing than you think it is, Raven. Also, been ripping off years, Being Human, Sanctuary, all UK shows first, then American version. Yes, but when they did the American versions, they didn't immediately put the UK versions on. Is what I'm saying. They do rip off shows all the time. That happens everywhere. Office, everywhere it happens. I get that. Let's see what else she says. Hot because BBCA. Yeah, and we're gonna get Mr. Who and everything. Doctor Who, I should say, Mr. Who. But show that I started. I've got 2 things that I watched this week that I'm gonna recommend to everybody. If you have Max,
Mr. Who, I failed out of doctor school.
If you have
Only
Max,
Mr. Who.
there is a documentary on Max called Albert Brooks Defending My Life. If you love comedy, it is an absolute must watch. It's directed by Rob Reiner, so and Rob Reiner and Albert Brooks have been friends. It's got stories about Carl Reiner. It's got stories about Mel Brooks. It's got all of these stories. It's got it's got old sketches that Albert Brooks did that are absolutely jaw dropping. They're amazingly funny. Like one is the best one I can describe. There's a whole one where he was on the Tonight Show as the world's greatest mime, and he came out in full body stocking, full makeup, and he's like, and now I will walk my dog, and he starts walking the dog. He's like, oh, Fifi, say hi to everyone, and he just starts. He fucking talks through the entire thing. This is a rope I am pulling. See, you think it's a rope, but it's really, like fucking hilarious, genius level shit. And it also has this stunning revelation. There's a revelation. One of the greatest entertainers of all time, the very end of the documentary, I'm not going to say who it is, but one of the greatest entertainers of our lifetime says, I actually wish I could have had Albert Brooks's career instead of my career. And it's just like, holy shit. And then you look at the movies, you look at Defending Your Life, Lost in America, Modern Romance, Real Life. These are all fantastic movies that are just, he's so genius. Defending Your Life is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. One of my favorite comedies of all time, him and Meryl Streep. And so this documentary goes in depth. It also goes in depth on his dad. His dad, they tell a story in the middle of the movie. His dad went to a friar's roast where they were inducting Lucille Ball. It was the first time in 1958 where Lucille Ball was being inducted with Desi Arnaz into the Friars Club. It was the first time a woman had ever been allowed in the Friars Club. And his dad was sick. And his dad was a comedian as well. His mom was a singer. He also made a movie called Mother. Everybody, like, I'm trying to get all the Albert Brooks movies out because you need to see them. They're all great. But basically, they tell a story about his dad. His dad went to the Friars roast. His dad worked on the jokes, all about the Friars Club, and he killed. Gave 10 minutes at the Friars Club roast, and this is a legit incident, real life. His dad died on the dais. His father got up, we didn't get up. He was in a wheelchair at the time. Gave 10 minutes at the Friars Club roast of Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball, where she was being inducted. Killed. Went back to his seat and keeled over and died. And it's just those kind of stories. Also, there's a story about Carl Reiner, who was notoriously hard to make laugh, even though he was one of the funniest. Like Carl Reiner, of course, made The Jerk and The Man with Two Brains, and so many great comedy movies. He made Carl Reiner laugh so hard. Like Carl Reiner actually says in the movie, I don't know that I've ever laughed harder, nor will I ever laugh harder than the bit. And you just have to see it. It's such a great movie. Some comments. Let's see. Ken writes, I like Albert Brooks' brother. He was a funny guy. Yes. Defending Your Life was great, Gasper. Yeah. Also, nobody knows this, but Albert Brooks, his real name is Albert Einstein, which is a true thing. Like, I didn't know it. So it's a very informative, but also if you're into comedy or watching comedy or liking comedy, there are so many things with so many great comedians going, hey, do you remember this bit? And then they show the bit where they were turned on by him. He has 2 albums that are released. Like, it's well beyond. He also is credited in the special with, he gave SNL 2 ideas that shaped SNL forever. So he was asked to host SNL, like host it all the time. And he went in and talked to Lorne Michaels and said, I'll host it this week, but you should have a revolving series of hosts. Should change every week. Holy fuck, right? Like, that revelation hits and you're like, what? So Lorne Michaels wasn't going to have a guest host every week on Saturday Night Live. It was just going to be one host and maybe change after the season. But Albert Brooks talked him into, you should just revolve it. He also said, I don't really want to do the hosting. I just want to do a movie and send it to you. So that's where you get SNL shorts. So like the Robert Smigel shorts, the Please Do Not Destroy shorts that are tearing it up right now on the internet. Right, they have a movie coming out on Peacock next week. So he's just way more important than we know. And then the other one that I'm watching that just started this week is this. It's called A Murder at the End of the World. It's Clive Owen. It's from Britt Marling. So she's done some things like the OA. And it's just this really funky, in a girl with the dragon tattoo kind of vibe to it. It's about a girl who is like an amateur sleuth. And she gets invited to a compound of Clive Owen. You see him there in the picture. Clive Owen is a tech genius a la Elon Musk or somebody else, one of the whatever tech genius you want to, who lives in his own Icelandic house next to a hot springs, I guess. And she gets invited to a big, like, kind of like all the genius people thing, and because she's written a book about detective work, and it's of course there's a murder, so it's like Agatha Christie a little bit, but it's really good. I also saw Hunting in Venice, which was really good. You guys seen anything you want to talk about or like? If not, we move on to the Marvels and Loki.
I haven't
Okay,
binge
we
watched
move on.
Loki
I
yet.
didn't have any
Got to now.
You haven't watched Loki yet? Son of a bitch. We're not gonna give any away spoilers. So
Yeah, we can.
a couple of
I
things.
did watch the Marvels.
Okay, so as we know today, as we have the show on Tuesday, the Marvels has failed at the box office to the tune of $120 million, which again seems ludicrous. We're saying it's a failure, and it's grossed $120 million around the world. That to me is ridiculous. And the only way how do I say this to people who gloat about things like this? Yes, it's a failure. Yes, be happy that a movie led by 3 women, directed by an African American woman, 2 women of color in the cast, has failed at the box office. Be happy, gloat, but also realize that it's only a failure in relation to every other movie in the Marvel universe. It's a ridiculous fight. And we can say it's a failure. We can say Marvel's waning. I am of the mindset that Marvel is just, they need a little time. Because I believe in the concept of absence makes the heart grow fonder. And I feel if they pull back, the moment they release something, people will go nuts. And I think that's going to happen with Deadpool. Do you not think it's going to happen with Deadpool? Do you not think it's going to go crazy with Deadpool 3?
Oh, Deadpool 3 is going to be insane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's their next movie. The next movie.
I understand that. I don't think the Marvels failed, though. I think it's the track record of the 2 or 3 previous movies, besides Guardians, that just. I think the first Miss Marvel movie was which didn't help this one. And
Captain Marvel? Okay.
Captain Marvel, I think that's what tanked this, and the Ant-Man movies, and no one remembered Guardians really, and they just were like, yeah, I saw the show on Disney, and it was more geared towards children, so I really want to go to this too. I mean,
I talked about this a little bit on Friday. It's great. The girl playing Imana Vellani, who plays Kamala Khan, is fantastic. She is going to be, for this next generation, she is as good. This is a bold revelation that I'm going to make as a nerd. She is as good as Kamala Khan as Robert Downey Jr. is as Tony Stark. It's true. It is. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it, the idea that somebody can be as good as a character that we're going to look back on and realize that she is something special and she's the beating heart of whatever they have moving forward. Unless
this movie is going to probably be one of the most streamed movies when it finally hits Disney Plus, and everyone realizes how good it is. But just, I don't think people are giving it a chance because of all those factors I named.
Well, and I think also the political shit hasn't helped. Like whatever the political shit is about everything, like as it taints everything else in the world right now, it doesn't help this as well because it again we had a lot like Stephen King, who hates the Marvel universe, was defending like not defending but asking questions like, why are we so happy something fails? And that reminded me of a conversation I had with somebody, and we'll get to comments in a moment, but I had a conversation with somebody where, and this is, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but this is how I feel. I go to every movie I go to, I don't go to hate it. I'm there. I've taken time out of my life because I assume I'm going to enjoy it. So why, when we see something fail or we don't like something or whatever, and then we gloat about something failing and not like people not liking it, I just don't understand it. I like, and I had a conversation
I
with
see
somebody.
you get happy after a Rob Zombie movie failed.
No, wait a second. No. I what I will say to you is, I don't get happy when a Rob Zombie movie fails. I get happy when people realize that Rob Zombie isn't a filmmaker. Like I'm not looking at particular movies. I just want you people who like his movies to realize his movies are terrible. I don't need you like all of his movies fail, Kyle. Like there's only one that did business. Every one of them is a tanker, and the only one that did business was because it had the Halloween branding on it. Like even the Devil's Rejects, what was it? Like just to give you an idea of what we're talking about right now, because you're trying to trap me, which is fine.
I'm not trying to trap you. I just know the silly little grin you got on your face every single time we talk about a Rob Zombie movie not doing well. You're like,
well, no, but my question to you is, what Rob Zombie movie did well? Can you give me one that has done well? Like, give me a second. Give me 1 second.
I think the Devil's Rejects was probably the best one. The Halloween one.
That's the best one.
As far as I'm
concerned. Well, okay, Devil's Rejects. I would say that is his best movie. That's the one I can't fight against. That's the one I don't fight against because he got exactly what he was going for. He's going for hillbilly redneck shit. You know what I mean? Like he knew exactly what he was trying to do.
Oh yeah, the thing.
The Rob Zombie movie I looked most forward to was the one that never came out about the Philadelphia Flyers.
Is that real?
Yeah, he was supposed to make a Broad Street Bullies movie about the 1970s Flyers, and it got tanked.
That's all we need is more people like emulating the Flyers.
Was his wife going to be the coach? Or?
A cheerleader,
mascot, something.
Okay.
So well, soon after that's when Gritty came out. So yeah, probably.
Okay, so you mentioned the Devil's Rejects. You mentioned Devil's Rejects. You do realize? Okay, looking at the box office for the Devil's Rejects, 20 million worldwide. That's it. 17 million domestic. Let's see, updated, adjusted, 28 million. So like his films are tankers. Halloween, I'm gonna do Halloween 2 just because I think that's funnier. Okay, so Halloween 2, how about this? Halloween 2 in 2009 grossed 33 million. So that actually grossed more than his original shit. Halloween 2007 grossed 58. That's his highest grossing film. And that's only because it's Michael Myers.
Right. Exactly.
Like, okay, so we got a lot of comments. Hold on. And then we're going to do a quick...
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, you're like, I don't go to movies hoping they're bad. And I'm like, well, I've seen you get a Rob Zombie.
Well, it's not that you hope they're bad, but it's just that they are.
I know.
It's Super Dave Osborne. Yes. Ken McKernan. Watch Haunted Mansion. Don't watch it if you have lost someone. Yeah, it's a little sad. I think Marvel's is gonna slow burn. That's possible. Rich and I were talking about that on Generation Movies. That it might have a 47, it could end up becoming Elemental, which kind of bumped through the summer. Your camera froze in the weirdest, or was that just a? Was that your camera freezing, or was that your holding
He's
back a yawn?
he's just sitting still.
It looked like he was
Hold
having a
back a yawn.
He's
I'm
like,
freaking. I'm exhausted.
Deadpool 3 is going to be massive. Yeah. It's Logan
Yes.
time. Yes. MODOK was a mistake, a huge mistake. I don't know. It's funny. I'm in his nerd queen world. Yeah. Iman Vellani is just, she's amazing. Because she talked her way into the room. Time she did as Miss Marvel as Tony was. Yes. She's as good as Kamala as Tony was. I'm already tired of Kang. Well, we're not going to get a chance to hate Kang because Kang's going to be gone. Kang is taint. Well, okay. Well, that's a little bit. Marvel needs Beta Ray Bill. That's probably not. Someone's sick Velvet on JW. Oh no, please don't. I'm so sick of fighting about Rob Zombie. Ben Grimm, the Thing needs his own movie. Maybe. 31 was a fun
if
one.
they do it right.
If they do it right, yeah. His Downey commercial was his best filming. That makes sense. We had Rob Zombie Spider-1 on the show. His movie is 10 times worse than any of Rob's. That is saying something, Joe. That is what was better is Devil's Rejects or Original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, that's easy. That's an easy question. That's the easiest question of all time, Jasper.
Yes, it is.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a better movie. That's actually sacrilege. So which was another no, what did I miss? Okay, wait, another comment. Raven wrote, "Do I avoid it right now? It's something I was looking forward to." Yeah, I know about Haunted Mansion. So last thing, well, two things we're going to talk about to end the show tonight. So we just got done with the SAG after strike. AI was a big deal. They're doing an AI generated biopic of Edith Piaf. I think we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I wanted to talk about it quickly. So basically, all the things the studio said they weren't going to do, they're not technically doing because the estate of Edith Piaf, who sang La Vie en Rose, has basically signed off on giving her recordings and all things to Warner Brothers to create an animated movie with an AI playing Edith Piaf, singing, so they don't have to hire an actor to sing, and they don't have to hire an actor to be Edith Piaf. And so everything you were worried about the studio's doing with AI, they're going to get around this one time or until they do it again, because it was the estate of Edith Piaf that sold them the rights to do so and all the vocal recordings. So basically what they did was the estate gave them the vocal recordings that they're going to compile with AI, which is just the scariest thing ever.
No, Raven, you're not wrong. He did not talk about Loki, even though he said we're going to talk about Marvels and Loki now.
Yeah, okay, I did. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't talk about Loki. I'm missing. We're talking about a lot of stuff tonight. Loki, by the okay, this is easy. This is an easy thing we're going to talk about quickly. I don't want to give away any. I'm going to give people plenty of time. Loki season 2, episode 6, Glorious Purpose, is one of the best versions of Marvel and the Marvel MCU that we're ever going to see. And I wore the shirt tonight because if it's the last time we're going to see Tom Hiddleston and a couple of the other people as their characters. The show season 2 was muddled, but 5 and 6, and especially 6, Glorious Purpose, was Marvel way the fuck up here, writing wise. And you know, if you see anything of
episodes
Loki,
1 through 4 were what Spratt would just say the filler not needed episodes.
Yes.
That every season
But
has.
what I would say is they're needed, but they're not. I think that they were headed in one direction and they had to change up because of the Jonathan Majors problem. The Jonathan Majors problems, Kyle, have put an incredible monkey wrench in this version of Marvel that we're dealing with, right? Jonathan Majors, you know, I don't like talking about like horrible things, but if he's a bad human being who hits women, he's got to go away. And the fact that he didn't hit women before he got hired, you know, now it's a real, you know, Glorious Purpose. Stop Loki and not loading. Stop Loki 6 not loading. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Stop Loki 6.
I think Stop!
Bullshit. No way. We
Don't say
don't.
nothing. He's episode 6 is in loading for him. Probably, I think is what it means.
Okay, that's what I
Having
was thinking.
issues with
Bullshit. No
Disney.
way. We don't see Loki again. I don't know. I don't know, Raven. He kind of there's a thing online where he kind of gave an idea that he's not coming back. That he might come back at some point, but he's not. He's done. He was talking about it, I think, in an Instagram post or an X post where basically, I started the character when I was 29. I'm 42 now. So it's like it's been 13 years of his life. And then Ken writes, heard a rumor that something Loney and Tony Stark are coming back. That is one of the rumors. It's called the emergency break glass Tony Stark hatch. That if Marvel gets in real serious trouble, something will bring Tony Stark back, and that will cause everybody to run to a
Yeah, the
theater.
fucking Brinks truck backing up to Robert Downey Jr.'s house will cause him to come back.
Yeah, I saw it. I see bullshit. Okay. Well, Raven, I'm not disagreeing with you, but Loki season 6. If you watch season 2, early part of season 2 is muddled. They don't like. I'm going to be honest. They don't have any kind of concept of what they're doing. Like it's all over the place, and I think it's the Kang thing. And then they get to 5 and 6, and 5 and 6 makes so much sense, especially 6. So, last thing we're going to do tonight, I got a series of movies that are coming out in the next few days, so that you're prepared for what's coming out for Thanksgiving. Starting with this Friday's openings, we got Thanksgiving from Eli Roth, which is of course is based on, the Grindhouse trailer that was part of Grindhouse, which is Tarantino and movie that came out a few years ago with Eli Roth and Robert Rodriguez. So we got Thanksgiving coming out on Friday. We got Trolls coming out on Friday, band together. Of course, has the new NSYNC song. Your thumbs up on that? Your thumbs up on Trolls? I could see it being like
Oh yeah, of course.
little troll. And
We
then
got the same
also
hair.
you do the big
Yeah, we do.
the big release of the weekend, getting all the big screens, all the big seating houses, is the Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which of course is a prequel to the Hunger Games movies we got. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but they should do well. And then next Tuesday, while we're doing our show, we will have 2 movies opening in time for the Thanksgiving holiday. In time for Thanksgiving Eve, we will have Napoleon, with Joaquin Phoenix, directed by Ridley Scott, and we will have Wish, which appears to be, I'm calling it How Disney Got Its Groove Back, because there are a couple things. One thing, living in Florida, we're kind of a weird state. We have a lot of political shit going on with Disney. So one of the weird rumors going around is that Wish, the villain in Wish, is a guy who hates dreams and wishing. And there are various rumors going around that the animation is based on Ron DeSantis of the villain. And it if it's there, it's going to be there, and people who live in the state will see it. And I don't know if you guys will, if you've seen him in the debates. He's a weirdo, and he just acts weird, and he does weird facial things. And so it'd be really curious if it has it anywhere. Are there any of those movies that you guys are looking forward to? I know I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving, but not that it's going to be good. I just need it to be kind of cheesy and fun.
Napoleon, I'd like to see that.
Napoleon on the big screen, Ridley Scott directing, Joaquin Phoenix chewing on.
The trailer's good.
The trailer's really good. I think that's the important movie. Thanksgiving is the fun movie, and I think Wish, for me, I like Disney movies. I like kids movies. I think kids movies are often made better than other movies. So I think that's something that's going to be fun. I have no interest in.
You seen or heard anything about It's a Wonderful Knife?
It opened here last week, and they were promoting like it had $1 million opening, and it's not like it's a real cheap movie. Like one of the things going around was on movie horror websites was that one, it's okay, it's not great. It's not like Jerry and I got super excited about Totally Killer because we thought it was really like you mash up 2 movies and then magically have a great movie. I'm not hearing the same thing about It's a Wonderful Knife. I'm hearing that it's a cool concept that they don't pull off, but they are bragging about the amount of money it made because it only cost like 3 or 4 million to make, and so it made like $1 million over the weekend, give or take. So they don't know if it's going to bump along, but well, I feel like it's going to be streaming in a week. Like like with all the movies that are coming out this week, you got I just threw out 5 titles for you that are going to be in theaters in the next day, next week. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be crazy. But we'll see what happens. Let's see some comments as we make our way through the show. Let's see. They don't need a Tony Stark patch. All they need are X-Men. They need X-Men and Fantastic Four. They need both of those to hit. And actually, one of the rumors coming, and not to be a spoiler, one of the rumors coming out of Marvel is that they could do that. We could shift main universes if they wanted to, but they have to be very careful with X-Men, and they have to be very careful with Fantastic Four. I thought Tony Stark coming out was going to be called Armor Wars. No, that's not his movie. That's Cody. That's Rhodey. Armor Wars is Rhodey, and that's a TV show. That's not a movie. That's basically all about that's all about Rhodey getting the new armor and learning new armor. I hope Napoleon is good. I hope Napoleon is good too. Because I'll be honest, like Ridley Scott hasn't been great lately. Like he's been doing weird, interestingly bad alien films. You know what I mean? Like Ridley Scott's been a little off. And he's making Gladiator 2 now, which I don't know if I've ever needed a Gladiator 2. I thought Gladiator gave me exactly what I wanted. I wanted a tiger. I wanted Russell Crowe killing Joaquin Phoenix. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I need a sequel to that movie. Let's see. Need a new princess to sell for Christmas. Yes. Although, Jasper, that begs the question that you may or may not have seen the Marvels. Anyway. Let's see. Trolls Band Together, Anna Kendrick, yummy. I love Anna Kendrick. I'm not, the Trolls movies don't do anything for me though. Weird. They're not, I don't like, some DreamWorks stuff is really good. And then some DreamWorks stuff is like lowest common denominator stuff. And I think Trolls for me is that way. Jasper also says for Napoleon, I'll watch Time Bandits.
Time Bandits.
Oh, that means great. Jasper, you like little things hitting each other. I understand.
It's a good movie though, Time Bandits.
Time Bandits are fantastic.
Oh,
Time Bandits,
we're back to doing badly explained a movie. Okay.
That's one of the greatest ones ever. But also Time Bandits, that's a movie, Jerry, I can't believe hasn't been remade. I can't believe that movie hasn't been remade.
You said it. Now it's out there.
I said it. It's out in the universe. Well,
you're never going to get credit for it.
Couldn't you see them? Couldn't you see that? Well, first off, the dwarven talent, the little people talent in that movie was astounding. Kenny Baker, that movie had some of the best little person talent of all time in it. Kenny Baker of course also played R2D2. You know what I mean? Like, and not to mention there was a show called The Wizard? You remember that show, Jerry?
Wizard. That sounds familiar.
Time Bandits had, there was one of the bandits, right? One of the bandits had a show. Oh man, I can't believe I'm going up on this. I hate going up on stuff like this. David, what was his name? No, David Rappaport, who played Randall. Also had David Warner, by the way, an incredibly underrated David Warner performance. Also, Time After Time. He was big into the Time movies from 79 to 82. But David Rappaport who he did a couple of things. What was the name of his show? The Wizard.
The
There's a show
Wizard,
called The Wizard.
and then Captain
played-
Planet and the Planeteers.
He played a character called Simon McKay, and he was an eccentric little person inventor, has adventures battling evil around the world. Like, it was a good show. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Raven Hanshaw, you rang. Wow, you don't need to talk. We don't need to talk about anything, Velvet. Everything's fine. Personally, I could use a new Sinbad the Sailor movie. So much of the mythical universe that could be done. Yeah, you know what? That's a good question. That's Sinbad movie. That's always on. Some people will say Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, but my dad always loved the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, because that's Ray Harryhausen. That's Sinbad fighting the skeletons. That's the best Sinbad movie. But so
Harryhausen's. I love that place in Monsters Inc.
Yes, Harryhausen. Yes, Ray Harryhausen, one of the greatest, the most greatest movie monster maker of all time.
Clash of Titans.
Clash of the Titans. We're talking about the Kraken. Someone came up with the Kraken this week.
I had the Ben Cooper costume, the Kraken.
Did you really?
I did. And I've been searching for it ever since online. I found one website that has nostalgic Ben Cooper. They're not for sale. They're just pictures. I can't find it anywhere. And I had it when I was a kid. I want it now.
I bet you had. You and I probably had the coolest shit. Like did you ever get when Buck Rogers in the 21st Century came out? I had the 4-inch talking tiki. Squeaky doll. Oh, I can't believe that thing. I know that thing got thrown away.
That's dope.
But anyway, I still have a bunch of my shit. So, okay. So now's the time of the show. We're going to end. Good time. We've been an hour and 13 minutes. Kyle's going to fall asleep on us, and I want him to get all his beauty rest. He needs as much of it as possible.
It's a bad time of the year.
We had a little bit less time. Yeah, I know. I understand. Also, yeah, it gets so dark so quickly, and it's just like 5 o'clock.
Leave your porch lights on for your mailman, please. Please.
Okay, boys. Where can people find you? Starting with Jerry, where can people find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to promote or talk about or chit chat about?
I'm on Facebook. The band's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Band is, of course, Slapjaw.
Yep. Me, I'm not so interesting. The band is more interesting than just me.
I'm sorry. Does the band have like 7 million views on TikTok?
Well,
does the band have? I have a question for you.
It's a group effort. I mean, I do videos, but
I know, but
I put our shows up and stuff too. So
I know you do, but I'm promoting you because you're on my show and our show, and you deserve as much promotion as anybody. And also, I see all the fucking the younger fucking band people who are just trying to keep up with you, and it makes my heart glad when you're out there doing riffs and you're just beating kids into the ground. I appreciate that so much. Any gigs
right?
makes my heart sing because youth is wasted on the young, my friend. Any gigs coming up?
Just December 9th out in New City, New York.
Okay, New City, New York.
Yeah,
so let's
never
see.
been there.
Got a couple comments.
If it's in New York and it's kind of between 84 and 80.
So none of you guys covered what movies have you seen recently. But a week I got to see Priscilla and Journey to Bethlehem back to back. Priscilla sounds great. I'm going nowhere near Journey to Bethlehem. I have absolutely zero interest. Just do. I have zero interest. A musical. No. I don't want to sing Donkey or anything. Maybe she tagged by mistake. You guys are deep into stuff out of my scope. Have fun, everyone. No, she didn't tag out of. No, she tagged because I was picking on Rob Zombie, Velvet. And Kyle is going to be preaching another mystery dinner party this weekend. What is this, Kyle?
Nice.
I don't know. I got told I'm going by the wife. I don't know what it is. It's a murder mystery dinner.
So are you killing
I got told.
I feel like this is not a good thing for you because you could be the one murdered.
Exactly. If you don't go.
It's like we're going to a murder mystery dinner. Oh, really? Who's getting killed? You get in the car. You are.
If you don't go, you're dead.
I was told,
already.
make sure you get out of work on time.
Like a bird, huh? Make it dark and they go to sleep. Yeah, a little bit.
Yes.
I
Everyone's
will
talking.
share photos. So Missy will share photos in the Loud Nerdy
Yeah,
group.
him on the ground.
Yeah.
JW.
Yeah.
Let's see. JW. Oh, hold on. JW, don't go there. He'll die on that hill. Yeah, all of his fans die on that hill. Every one of his fans die on that hill. The only thing that came up tonight, Velvet, was not only is his movies terrible, but in reality they don't actually make any money either. Like it's fantastic, really.
I did like White Zombie.
The band. He should be
Yeah.
Should be
They
a
were
band.
good.
Bring Thumper. Let's see. Check it out. This is Kyle's character. Hold on. Missy's really. Kyle is Luca Gelato. Think Italian hunk. Tanned, dark, greasy hair, gold jewelry, and a dark suit, mob style hat, large pencil thin mustache. Wow, this sounds like hell on earth.
This is the first time I'm finding out about this.
Okay, Luca.
You're gonna be wearing.
Okay, Luca.
I'll bring my lightsaber.
Luca Gelato. Like it's like, why not just Luca Fat Guy? Like it's just it's mean. Luca Gelato.
It's me, Luca Gelato.
That's what you should do. You should do fucking Mario voice the entire time. I'm the one to kill the man. You should do it the whole fucking time.
A mozzarella.
Fettuccine, and a little bit of prosciutto.
Friend.
No, I'm still kicking. Cult movies rarely make money. Bar records cost $10 million to make. Net less than $1 million. Still much beloved. No, it's not. This is me. Missy. Sophia Grappa, tight-fitting cocktail dress, huge top of the top makeup, and large headdress, long elbow-length gloves, and huge fake lashes. You're not only going to a murder mystery, but you're dressing up, apparently. Wow, this sounds like hell on earth.
This is all news to me.
Thanksgiving.
It's getting serious. There might actually be a murder.
Like fucking costumes and shit. And Regal doesn't pull out limited 20th version.
Like Eyes Wide Shut. Never know.
I think she's
With
talking
an actress
about
and a writer's strike. With
I
an
think
actress
she's
and a writer's strike, Regal will pull anything out to just
Yeah.
put on a screen.
Yeah. Yeah, there was nothing. They were trying to find stuff to run. And if you're talking about a House of 1,000 Corpses, I have numbers right here for you. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus, no. Well, and this is where we end the show. Take it to the chat room, people. Have a good night. Oh, fuck.
Sorry. I won't do it. It's over. The show's over. What about you, Kyle? Where can I find you? What shows you got? You got your last couple shows coming up, right?
I got one show left. His name is Luca. He listens.
He's got
Yeah, no,
shows.
December 9th, one show. And
One show left.
and December 9th, Moon
Now
Tavern.
you got a title. You guys can both. This is an interesting thing for Indie Escape Network. You guys can both go and create IMDb things. So, if you'd like,
Ooh.
you can be on IMDb. So good times. Also, I do want to throw out one last shout out. You guys had a problem with the hearse, I heard. From who hit the deer? Somebody hit a deer, right?
Oh, I was driving.
1:30
in the morning.
Did you get any venison or no?
On his windshield.
No, I saw the deer at the last second, and I just remembered everyone saying never slow down or lock up the brakes and just go through it. So I knew the car was all steel. I gunned it. I hit that deer so hard that part of its abdomen and all of its bodily fluids were across the bumper. We were between the Kaiser Ave and Main Street exit on the expressway in Scranton, and pulled into the sheets by Scranton High School, checked out the damage. There was fluids leaking everywhere, good amount of damage. So I was like, let's just get it the fuck home. It was 1:00 in the morning. got it home, went to put it in reverse, and the transmission just completely failed at that point. So they totaled it out. We're looking at a newer hearse by a year with a lot less problems, a lot less rust, but we are going to have to redo the hitch system and needs a few minor repairs. But so we did put up a GoFundMe. It was going great until GoFundMe paused it today to review it. We don't know why. They said they sent me an email and still haven't, but it's still paused. So yeah,
maybe they're trying to
I'll
go
let you
fund
know more.
themselves.
Yeah. So I keep on checking to see if I get an email from them. Because
Okay, well, by all means, I know you have it up in the Loud Nerdy group, so everybody should have that. So last couple things, and then we're out. We did the fund, which is nice. I'll try to create their IMDb pages. Thank you, Joe. Joe's incredible. Give me a few days. Finally, someone else in a cast wrecked a car. Welcome to the club, Kyle. Wow, that's
I didn't go through a fucking house though.
No, just a deer. You just killed Bambi, you bastard.
Yeah.
Okay. So with me, my name is JW Colwell. You can find me online, JW the Movie Guy, at Instagram, Facebook, X, Blue Sky, anywhere else you can look to find. I have this show, which is on now every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. We have 5 shows left at the end of the year. We'll be taking a couple weeks off to celebrate Christmas. Like 5. We have like 5 shows left. Five-time world champion. I also have a little show called Generation Movie with Rich Dries. We will be doing next week Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the greatest Thanksgiving movie ever made. Please join us at 10 p.m. on Monday night for that on the Indie Escape Network. Thank you so much for tonight. We appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for coming out and watching the show. And we'll hope to see everybody next week. Stay golden, Pony Boy. Have a great week.